Hello Internet, my name is Hazel from Hazelnuttygames. It is actually Saturday, totally actually Saturday this time, and it's time for a vlog. A quick note on the beginning, I've been really inconsistent with these over the last month or so, as well as with videos. I don't have a good excuse for you, so I'm just going to say I am going to work harder. I know I've said that before, but maybe it'll be true this time. And I'm hoping to get back to my previous levels of reliability, at the very least with the Saturday vlog, and Battleground videos should be starting up again quite shortly, as I already have quite a few of them done, so there will be at least a little bit more coming out as far as videos, and of course once BlizzCon happens, hopefully we can get a beta date, because that is what I really need. I just want to dig right into that Legion beta, get out of Draenor, and find out what is coming next. But anyways, speaking of BlizzCon coming up, BlizzCon's coming up. We're like, what, a month out now? It's close enough that there's kind of this lull in the community, I've noticed. There's just like a little bit, there's not really much to talk about until BlizzCon, and there's not really a whole lot going on. I mean, we've had patch 6.2 out for long enough that a lot of people are kind of starting to feel done. Like, the people that raid really hardcore are starting to feel done with Hellfire Citadel, of course, and some of them have been done for a while now. And the fan sites are kind of quiet. There's not really a whole lot going on. It's like a lull of... This is until we hear more news. I feel like maybe player numbers might be down. I don't know. I don't have any data, but it's been very quiet. And, but hopefully things start ramping up a little bit more as we get closer to BlizzCon. And then we got the BlizzCon schedule. We actually know now what sort of dates and time, or well, what times the panels are going to be and when those are going to happen. And it looks like they're leading with new Legion info right out of the gate after the opening ceremonies, which is, of course, what I am very excited to watch for. So that's going to be great. I think since the last vlog we had the EU regionals, I stayed up to watch the EU regionals because of course they happened last weekend at 12 p.m. or yeah, like noon Central European summertime, which in Pacific time was 3 in the morning. And I know many of you are super pros at being up super late, or maybe you work night shifts, or maybe you just don't need sleep and you're actually a vampire. But I am very used to sleeping at night, and I stayed up for that, and it ruined my sleep schedule for the whole week. I'm still kind of wonky. They're really fun to watch, though. There was a bit of drama about some disqualifications that happened, like, right at the tournament. Like, teams that had qualified, they were in the what do you call them, the brackets, like they were ready to play, and then all of a sudden they couldn't play anymore. Blizzard has since released a statement that those disqualifications were for violation of terms of service. Basically what happened was they caught at least one player in each of the teams that was disqualified breaking terms of service, most likely with something account sharing related, just based on the trends of player boosting and piloting happening in the PvP community. So there was cheating, not necessarily cheating in terms of how it affected the tournament. Like, obviously at a LAN event nobody else can play your character for you, but those players were not in good standing with Blizzard, and that's what happened to those teams, which is a bit of a shame, especially because it really slowed down the stream. I remember it was like 3 in the morning or 4 or 5 in the morning, and I was like super tired, and I was just waiting for the games to start back up, and they were trying to sort that out like while it happened. So it's a shame they didn't get that sorted out, of course, before the tournament, but I mean, it's their tournament. They could disqualify whoever they want for whatever reasons they want, and I don't think they were wrong to do so. I just wish they'd caught it earlier to spare everybody quite a bit of drama. So that happened. Otherwise, though, the EU regionals were good. The teams have been picked, so I think we now have all the teams that are going to be at BlizzCon set out, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it does. Before watching the EU regionals and after having just watched the NA ones, I would say that RMD has a very strong, one of the RMDs has a very strong chance of winning the whole thing based on how dominant they were at the NA regionals. But in the finals of the EU Cup, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this yet for some reason, but Turbo Team, Joe Fernandez's Turbo Team, actually beat out an RMD team, like a very good one, in a best of 5 series, so it was kind of cool to watch. And no idea who's going to win BlizzCon, although of course I'll be cheering for Push Push, at least a little bit in my heart. They're one of the Korean teams that was there last year, I think. It was not last year, the year before, and I think they're coming back, and they're adorable. So go Korea. Yeah, so not much more to talk about that until BlizzCon happens. I got my Rock Lover achievement in the world of pets. This was the last pet that I can feasibly get on my own. I'm not counting the stunted Direhorn in my mind, because that requires me to win like another 995 PvP pet battles, and I would have to make a serious change to the way that I play World of Warcraft in order to get that. So I'm kind of counting him out in my head. Everything else that I could get that's not from like an old event or an old BlizzCon or a store pet or anything like that, everything else I have. So that brings me to 714 unique battle pets. All of them are level 25 and all of them are rare. I'm still kind of doing dailies out of habit, And just because, I mean, when one of them pops up on the Garrison Daily that can be taken care of with a Howl Bomb, it seems like a shame to not do it. So I'll stock up on lots of level upgrade stones and quality upgrade stones heading into Legion. Hopefully get a bit of a head start on that. But yeah, Rock Lever was not as frustrating as I thought it was going to be. That's the one where you have to do the Lost in the Deeps daily in Deep Home 10 times. It gives you the Pet Pebble, who was my last one. And I'm going to throw together a quick video on that, actually. I know a lot of you may have already done it, but if you haven't done it, I'm going to come out with a video that includes any and all tips that I picked up while doing it that might be helpful, including how the group finder affects that, which basically, I mean, you can realm hop until you find the quest. But anyway, so there's going to be a video on that. And Pebble is super cute. I wasn't excited about him before I started trying to farm him, because you see him in the pet journal, you see his name's Pebble. He's a rock elemental. I have rock elementals. I got a frigid frostling. What do I need Pebble for? But then you actually go through the process of getting him, and by the end of it, you love him. You have to. You spent so much time rescuing him from that gosh darn gyroworm tunnel that you bonded a little bit, you know? What else have I been up to? I have been continuing to plug away at Arena, mostly on stream. I'm trying to get better. I'm not as good as I want to be. I'm obviously not the best ever. I'm not very good in the grand scheme of things, but I'm always trying to get better, and I feel like my best asset as an Arena player is my not giving upness. I figure if I just keep at it, and I don't give up, and I continue practicing, eventually, at some point in time, there's some equation in the universe that means that eventually I'll be good and I'll be happy with how I'm playing. You might be able to tell I've been a little bit discouraged with my progress. I'm still doing fine, I'm still getting better, but I have a long way to go, and it's very clear to me that I have a long way to go, and it's very frustrating whenever I make a mistake, because I know as soon as I've done it that it was a terrible decision, and I hate myself like a little bit every time I do it, and I make a lot of mistakes. But hopefully I get better, and I just gotta not get too down. I just gotta not give up. I won't give up, obviously, but it's a little discouraging. But I'll get there. I'll get there one day. We're like 12% of our way through our 10,000 games. I'm 1,200 and something between threes games specifically, not counting twos, not counting skirmishes, between my two resto druids for this season. I don't expect to get my 10,000 done this season. That would be absolutely insane. But that's just when I started my count, so I'm gonna keep it that. Our guild, switching topics to rating, our guild has killed Heroic Archimonde. We are now 13 of 13 Heroic, and that's probably as far as we're gonna go. We would need to recruit, I think, if we were going to get into Mythic, and we would need to probably adjust our roster and a whole bunch of other stuff that we're probably not going to do. So I assume from this point in our raiding career, we're going to continue running the raid for any amount of time, just trying to finish our gearing up, because a lot of us still need gear. I still have a bunch of pieces of normal tier, because Conch never drops in our raid, like never. So we're going to keep gearing up, and then we're probably going to be looking at achievements, like... We never did achievements for, like, we never went out specifically to do achievements for High Maul or Blackrock Foundry, or, of course, Hellfire Citadel, so I think it'll be kind of neat if we can go back and get those tidied up, and I think there's some mounts you can get. They're probably awful. There's probably a reason I don't want them, and don't know what they are, but there's probably some kind of mount that we can get before we're heading into Legion, so that'll be something to keep the guild busy, and Hellfire Citadel has been a very satisfying raid. I'm really happy with how Shadow Priest has been performing in it. Oh, and I bonus rolled on Heroic Archimonde. On our first Heroic Archimonde kill, I bonus rolled myself a staff. I got the Edict of Vargas. It doesn't have any crit on it, and I really like crit as a Shadow Priest, so initially I thought it was just garbage. But then I looked on Mr. Robot, and apparently it's enough item levels, and it's good enough stats that it's going to be the best thing for me for quite some time. Or possibly the rest of the expansion, because I don't think I can get anything better outside of Mythic. I don't think I'm gonna do Mythic. That doesn't sound like my deal. So yeah, I got a cool staff, and it feels really good to have a staff transmogged again. It's kind of underwhelming transmogging main hand offhand, because you'll never see your offhand unless you actually pull your weapons out, which is a special command that you will never remember to do. And then your main hand just kind of like sits on your hip, and it's like kind of small, and then the enchant kind of like overwhelms, and it's just like you got a little fireball on your hip, and I mean, that's fine. But it's not where there's so many really cool staff models in World of Warcraft that it feels good to have a staff transmogged again. I don't remember what the staff I mogged is called. I want to say Malevolence, but I don't know if that's right. I'm going to look this up right now. I'm going to look up to see if Malevolence is right. If it isn't right, oh no, I can BattleNet myself. I can armor myself. I'm going to armor myself so that you know what I'm talking about. It's like a dragon, but it's also got like metal, and it's purple, and please tell me this is updated. Transmogged to Malevolence. Hey, I got it right. So yeah, look that up in WoW. That thing is awesome. And I get to wear it now. Woohoo! So that's about been my week. In non-WoW stuff, sweater weather is here, which is awesome. I like wearing sweaters. It feels like they hug me. I'm very excited to do some baking. Now that it's baking season, it is almost gingerbread cookie season. I know it's only October, but I may as well start early because I love gingerbread cookies. Like, I actually, like, you might think it's a little silly to confine making gingerbread cookies just to the holiday season, but I kind of have to because I have a very weird thing about gingerbread cookies. Normally, I have a great deal of self-control when it comes to food. I can take it or leave it. If it's like a dessert or a sweet, I'll have some and I'll enjoy it and then I'll stop. Like, I don't have any problem with portion control when it comes to food, unless we're talking about gingerbread cookies. I have very little self-control when it comes to gingerbread cookies. They have to be gingerbread cookies, they have to be frosted, and they have to have Smarties on them. M&Ms are fine, because apparently it's kind of hard to get Smarties in America. They don't sell them here. In America, Smarties apparently mean those chalky things that we call rockets in Canada. I don't really know. It makes it hard to decorate my holiday cookies, but M&Ms are fine. It just has to be a candy-coated chocolate in icing on a gingerbread cookie. And it's so good, and I'm very excited I can start making them again. They're kind of a pain in the butt to make, which is the other reason that I don't eat too many of them, because it takes a long time. Like, the mixing of the dough is fine, but then you gotta let it chill, and then you gotta roll it out, and then you gotta cut it, and then you gotta bake them, and then you gotta let them cool, and then you gotta decorate them, and then you gotta put them away. It's like a lot of work. But gingerbread cookies, I also need to relearn how to make bread. I know how to make bread. Making bread is another thing that takes way too much time, but fresh bread is so good. I think I'm hungry. I think I need to make dinner. I'm going to do that. I hope you guys had a wonderful week. Feel free to check in with me on stream if you ever want to chat and say hi. I will warn you though, my stream content is a bit different from what I do on YouTube. On YouTube, I like to keep things very positive, reasonably family friendly, and, varied content. I also try to keep my language moderately clean on YouTube. On Twitch, when I'm PvPing and when I'm live and I can't edit myself, all of that goes out the window. I have a very foul mouth. I get my team partners in Skype. We make very lewd jokes. We play, and I do almost exclusively PvP on my Twitch channel. So if you are interested in lewd jokes and PvP, that is fantastic. If you don't want to see that, or you have children that might be in the room and it's going to be a speaker on, do not go there. I'm warning you. So anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye!